This podcast is brought to you by listeners like you through Patreon and Coffee.com. Thank you. We're also brought to you by Libris Arcana. Stay tuned during this podcast for more information and promo codes.
All right. I'm going to. It's too early for drinks.
It's never too early for drinks.
Yeah. All right. I'll ask the bartender to bring me 3 drinks.
And the bartender nods and asks, is there any particular table you want these to?
I'll carry them myself. To the table I plan to deliver it to.
Mm-hmm. And so, once again, he has a short, brief conversation with some of the servants around. And, no, actually, he probably has a tap, and he pours them into the glass. What am I saying? And, the bartender sets them down.
How much do I owe you for all of this?
Which standard of currency do you have?
What are the standards of currency?
You have, like, the common one.
Alright. Common.
He takes out a small, like, it looks like a scroll. It looks like it has charts on it. It's probably a conversion chart. And he looks. 4 copper.
Alright, I hand them 4 copper and take the tankard.
Yep, and you take the tankards. I presume you go to the table with the 2 ladies at it.
Yes, that was the plan.
And yeah, they're pretty into their conversation, and you hear that, as I said, you hear the tiefling has only been working for this armor smith for not a long time, but she just seems to avoid the question every time her companion, or maybe even friend, can't really tell, every time the human brings up, oh, what did you do before this?
As I walk over, I'll stand a couple of feet away as to not come off too intimidating, and will clear my throat and say, "Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. I learned that a bit of ale in the morning helps deal with disagreeable people."
Yeah, you get a chuckle out of both of them. And the human, gives you a, like, much happier, broader smile than the tiefling. The tiefling seems a little,
Wary?
yes, that's a good word. And well, oh, hello there. And the human sits up a little bit more properly. I'm Hasia, and this is my friend. And Hassia has a problem. Like, it looks like it's on the tip of her tongue, her friend's name, kind of indicating that, maybe they haven't known each other as long as it might have looked. And the tiefling finally pops up. I'm Elenia.
I'm Leo. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. And he will distribute the ale. Before asking, can I take a seat?
Hassia is totally down for you taking a seat, and she scoots a little. They're kind of on a bench, on a table. The table's pretty long, and there's some multiple groups at it, and you're just kind of at like the front corner.
All right, I'll take a seat then.
And you sit down. It doesn't look like the tiefling's taking much of a drink, or at all. She kind of like does the motion, but you're not sure she's actually sipping. But Hassia's totally into it.
I just made it in town, and I was looking for a smith, an armor smith. So, what can you tell me about your employer?
Elena is a little. She doesn't come like she doesn't. She has to think for a moment and looks you up and down. And like you can try, like you can kind of figure out just by looking at her. She's trying to figure out if she can trust you or not. And I just spoke enough. I just forgot your question. What was it?
If you could tell me something about their employer, because I'm looking for an armor smith.
Yeah. Well, he's very talented, and his services are available. That's all I know about him.
Where does he do his work?
Not too far from here. If you need someone to guide you, I can guide you.
Well, I am new in town. I wouldn't want to get lost, but I don't have to go right now if you don't.
She looks at the same device the bartender was earlier, and thinks. And you can tell she's kind of at the crossroads. Should I really go with this dude? Should I go right now? Should we wait a little? And she just kind of awkwardly gets up and says, "Well, I suppose I can go to work now."
Oh, a moment. He will get up, drink what's left of his ale, put it back down, and excuse himself to the human lady.
Yeah, the human lady looks a little disappointed that you're leaving, but she enjoys the drink, and she waves goodbye to her friend, and you two start going down. And as the bartender said, there's an alley to the right of this place. You go down like a few structures, and then there's an courtyard that just kind of opens up, and it looks like there are several artisans here with like several different kinds of workshops. If you want to do an investigation and add proficiency because of blacksmith stuff, go ahead.
If I already have proficiency, do I add it twice?
Yeah, I mean, you know what you're doing. Why not? So we can just add the plus whatever on top of whatever you roll.
Okay, so it's +3, so 15.
15? Yeah. You definitely recognize blacksmithing stuff. You recognize some other stuff that has to do with kilns, like, pottery. There's possibly a glass blower here. You're not too familiar with the pottery stuff, but glass blowers use some of the same tools as blacksmiths. And yeah, there's definitely signs of a blacksmith and his little like corner of the courtyard. And there is a sign, and it says Oziah's blacksmith. Or blacksmith Oziah. Yeah, it probably says blacksmith Oziah. We're going to pause things for a moment and have a word from our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by listeners like you through Patreon and Coffee.com. Thank you. We're also brought to you by Libris Arcana. Do you like role-playing games but you have no dice? Are you a dice dragon and just need a hoard dice? Libris Arcana has you covered. Libris Arcana offers both a monthly and quarterly subscription to get dice. Yeah, that's right. They send you dice monthly or every 3 months. They also sell individual dice sets and great leather protective book covers for your gaming manuals. Go to www.librisarcana.com. That's LIBRISARCANA.com to find out more. And if you use the promo code SwordfallFan, you get a discount. Look in the description below for more details. And now back to the story. It's a quaint little stand. The sign is definitely like probably he did it himself some time ago. It is like looks like he used his own smithing tools to like burn the wood, and it's his handwriting. It's very rustic, one might say. Um, and you see like all the things are about ready for something to be like pounded and heated and cured. So he must not be too far away. And from one of the buildings, just like not too far away from where his setup is, you hear a voice. Elena, is that you? And she perks up and looks, and kind of she moves away from you. She kind of does a small run, and you can hear a brief conversation between the two. Basically, you had someone follow you. Who are they? And Elena's flustered enough she can't quite remember, and he kind of scolds her a little for bringing a complete stranger, things like that. And he motions you over.
I approach and say, "Hello, I'm Leo Stout. I'm a traveling blacksmith."
Ah, and an elf. I'm Uzziah. I do smithing of sorts, armor smithing mostly.
Yes, I just got in town and encountered some trouble on the road. I wanted to check on my armor before moving on.
Let's have a look. And he motions you over to his work stand. So Leo, you just met Uzziah, the armor smith, and his assistant question mark Ling. Um, and you have your armor on you, right?
I'm not wearing it while I'm in town, but yes, it's in my backpack or strapped somewhere around. Yes.
And were you telling him the truth about it being you being in some kind of scuffle?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I found something on the road while I was traveling. I don't think this country is the safest for road traveling.
Yeah, sometimes magical experiments they escape.
So I'm gonna guess that yes, I wasn't lying.
Yeah, I always gotta double check. I never know who's gonna be like, yes, I was lying. um, yeah. So he starts taking a look at the armor, and he takes out a little tiny hammer and starts just lightly tapping it and listening to it. And it almost looks like he's having a conversation with your armor. Just something you don't see much, especially in human parts of the world anymore. And he takes each part. You wearing like full armor or
I use oh yeah, a plate armor. Yeah.
plate armor? Yeah, you have full plate.
Yep.
And
It
yeah,
it's even my one magical item.
oh, that's right.
It's a cast-off plate armor, so it's just easy to remove. That's its magical property.
Yeah, he starts listening to it in every piece, and it seems like you almost swear he's attuning to it, but there's just something about the glimmer in his eye and the way he just treats it almost like a sentient being that you can tell there's something special about this man. And he just has you sit down. I mean, if you get up and start like watching over his shoulder, I mean,
Well, not directly over his shoulder. I'll do it from the side. Come on. But yes, I'm watching him work from close.
and so he is getting into it. He's checking first like the helmet, seeing how that is going, and since you're a little bit closer, actually give me a perception check. Let's see what you actually notice while this guy is working.
Ha! Nat 20.
Nice. You notice that he is actually humming and listening to the sound of what your armor sounds like and how it sounds compared to the rest of the armor. And every once in a while, he kind of gives a grimace. But then some other times, he just shakes his head and moves on. And are you trying to be like casual about like watching him, or are you like full on watching him? Like, are you making it obvious?
My character is not known for his subtlety, so yeah, I'm just straight up watching him. Like, no secret here.
You Smith?
Yes, I'm part of the member of the Guild of Dearness. So, yes, I'm a smith. I'm currently traveling try and learn more about the other smithing style out there in the world.
So you came to learn.
Yes, I did.
He actually stands up and backs a little off, and he points the handle of the hammer to you. Give a good tap.
I will try to do so myself. Yes.
And how attuned to magic do you think your character is? Like, I mean, they're a fighter, but they're also a half elf.
I would say not as much as other elf, but still more than a human.
Okay, give me an Arcana check. Let's see if you can decipher what's happening.
Nope. I
Nope,
have no freaking idea.
that's a solid 3. So you take the hammer, and it just seems like a normal hammer. It has a soft head, so it doesn't like dent anything. Um, it you don't really get what's so special, and you tap it. It all kind of sounds the same. Like you're not really get what he's he might just be crazy.
I doubt it. It's more that I don't know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and he looks at you expectantly, like he's watched you like probably ping it 2 or 3 times. Do you hear it?
No, sadly, I don't hear it.
Uh, well, here, let me show you. And he seems pretty eager to actually show you. He's very old for, you could guess he's human, but you're not quite sure. Um, but he starts tapping, and he kind of makes an off note with his own voice. See, it doesn't match. It doesn't match the rest of it. It's a little damaged, not just physically, but with arcane. It's a little damaged arcane wise, and after like a few minutes of him like comparing the different notes, and he almost seems like he's having a song conversation with it. You kind of start finally hearing the tune that he's trying to get at.
Okay, I can spot the note.
Yeah.
Interesting. You can find the enchantment within it. Very interesting.
Well, if you know what you're looking for and you can figure it out. I mean, some people have their identify spells and detect magic, but good smith, good smith can identify this stuff. There are some people out there who can just identify it by its smell.
Oh, so it's a different sense for everyone. Basically, the sense you can most attune with magic yourself, I'm presuming?
Yeah, everybody finds their way. Some of the older magic users, not like me, but we're talking new dawn of the world old. They say they can sense magic by smelling. So if anyone comes up to you and starts smelling you, be a little worried because they might be using something a little bit more potent than what you have. He kind of gives you a grin.
Very well. I'll be careful. And I smile back at him.
No, I just like listening to what's in front of me, and yeah, it's pretty obvious what this is. You can just take this off easily. It's pretty handy for a smith and a fighter.
Yes, it was especially handy because I traveled by boat for a while, so yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to drown in your own armor. That's kind of an embarrassing way.
Yep.
This podcast is powered by listeners like you. Thanks. Please like, comment, rate, share, and subscribe wherever you can. Consider supporting us through Patreon, Ko-fi.com, or by hitting the listener support button on our Anchor.fm page. Follow and interact with us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Discord. For all these links, look in the description below. If you liked our podcast, consider listening to these other great podcasts.
A long, long time ago, in a land far away named Phylor, there were 4 legendary adventurers.
We are the Adventurers 4, renowned across the land.
Using their cunning and strength, the party defeats many monsters and saves many lives.
Nick takes her fairy blade and stabs it into his other eyeball.
Oh my god! Can you go jump on my back? Do I cast Expeditious Retreat?
Yeah. Can Bob roll a D20 for me?
I don't like that. I don't like how you asked that.
D20 business.
What if I rolled a 1? What if I told you I just rolled a 1?
Come and join us weekly at How the Quest Was Won. Found anywhere where podcasts are located. Purchase not necessary. No real magic was used in the making of this podcast.